And welcome to this week's edition of Aggie News. I'm Cameron Jackson.
And I'm Maddie Moore.
First, today we would like to take a moment of silence for Deja Reeves, an 18-year-old freshman who was shot and killed at an off-campus party during Aggie Fest. Her funeral was Saturday in Chicago.
In Kansas, a teen is in the hospital after he accidentally went to the wrong house to pick up his brothers one night and was shot by the homeowner. Police and the teen's family say he was given the address 115th Terrace, but he mistakenly went to 115th Street instead. The shooter was taken into custody and later released. CNN's Camilla Bernal has more.
The Kansas City community protesting on Sunday after 16-year-old Ralph Yarl was shot as he was trying to pick up his siblings last week. Police say Yarl accidentally went to the wrong address where he was shot and seriously wounded by the homeowner. Officers arrived at the scene after a neighbor called 911 and took the homeowner immediately into custody.
Our heart goes out to the juvenile victim, and more than anything, to make sure that this child and this child's family knows that there are people working hard, a number of people working hard, to make sure there is justice for this person.
The homeowner, who has not been identified, was released after 24 hours pending further investigation. The police department says they're waiting to obtain a formal statement from the victim and further forensic evidence.
I want everyone to know that I'm listening, and I understand the concern that we are receiving from the community. The information that we have now, it does not say that it's racially motivated. That's still an active investigation. But as a chief of police, I do recognize the racial components of this case. I do recognize and understand the community's concern.
Yarl's aunt says her nephew loves music and is a section leader in his marching band. She says his goal is to attend Texas A&M University to study chemical engineering. Civil rights attorneys Lee Merritt and Benjamin Crump are representing the victim and his family and demanding swift action, and are calling the shooting horrendous and unjustifiable.
As a mother of 3 children, this enrages me.
And protesters gathering Sunday outside the home where Yarl was shot, demanding justice.
He is alive. He is healing. So I just want to tell you thank you for being here, because my nephew is alive.
The homeowner was released because Missouri state law requires that a person either be charged or released after being held for 24 hours. Police say they need to get a formal statement from Yarl and gather more evidence.
A&T hosted the U.S. Army War College last week. It was part of what's called the Eisenhower Series, a way for War College students to connect and engage with communities. The War College is a graduate program for members of the Army to think more broadly about war and its purpose. 3 students shared their research. One discussed what a woke military means and the diversity efforts since the killing of George Floyd. Another shared her experience utilizing strategic apathy, leading soldiers and working with refugees from all over the world. The last presenter explored the Army's recruiting challenge, including the seemingly stark separation between civilians and the military today. You can hear more about the discussion topics by visiting ncat.edu.
The area of Fort Lauderdale, Florida experienced the most rain in the city's history this weekend, receiving about 26 inches. The cancellation of flights was just one result of the extreme weather. South Florida is experiencing a gas shortage, not because of the lack of supply, but because Port Everglades has flooded.
Here in Greensboro, this weekend had the perfect weather for an outdoor fashion show. The clothing brand Black Street Market collaborated with multiple designers to present their first fashion show. At a park downtown, people walking by or already in the park stopped by to check out the young designers. Brands Semi-Stitch, Grandy Worldwide, and World Premiere showed off unique streetwear. There were crochet tops, patches, spikes, and leather.
The top is all of the workwear or like the, do-it-yourself looking stuff, and Blood, Sweat, and Tears is more of the leatherworking, the spikes, all the chrome, silver, and all of that. It's been fun. I do like to enjoy it. I enjoy it.
This show was months in the making. You can follow Black Street Market on Instagram for future events and opportunities.
Wow, it's great to see people out and finally enjoying this spring weather.
Yeah, let's see what Grant Coleman has to say about our 7-day forecast.
Welcome back into the Aggie Forecast Center. I am meteorologist Grant Coleman, and I hope everyone enjoyed their wellness days last week on Monday and Tuesday. They were very much needed, and the weather was beautiful to boot. Now, that trend will continue into this week with some possible rain at the end of the week, but stick around and I'll show you what I mean. Looking at today, Tuesday, it's 73 degrees right now, about lunchtime or so. Temperatures get up to about 75, so not too warm at all. We have a nice 15-mile-an-hour wind moving through. Now, the humidity is lower today, so with that wind, you're going to want to make sure any open fires you have, you want to keep an eye on them, as that's how fires spread. We don't want to do that. But looking at the rest of your week, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday have similar stories with temperatures in the 80s, partly cloudy on Thursday, but as we get into Saturday, you can see those rain chances increase to 86%. Temperatures begin to drop as we get into Sunday, and that rain is gone, but getting into Monday and Tuesday of next week, temperatures remain in the upper 50s. Back to you guys.
Coming up on Aggie News, North Carolina A&T cheerleaders took home second place at the National Cheerleading Association competition.
Also coming up, Netflix experienced a shocking disturbance with their connection while airing the live reunion of Love is Blind.
Tri-state area.
We have it all. Food, culture, business, the most unique people on the planet.
Diverse neighborhoods have diverse needs.
What happens here is just as vital as what happens here. That's why we live in the communities we serve.
Reporting for the communities we serve. So when big things happen, you get the answers you need now.
We know this because we live here too.
Our cheerleaders brought home a trophy from Nationals. That's including Aggie News reporter Alexis Black. She has the details of her team's first major national cheer competition.
Oftentimes, you can catch them on the sidelines of football games and basketball games. But have you seen them perform a 2-minute and 15-second competitive routine? North Carolina A&T's cheerleading program competed at the biggest college nationals cheer competition in the country, the National Cheerleading Association, on April 6th and 7th in Daytona Beach, Florida, for the first time in school history. 20 athletes took the mat and competed against 20 teams, taking home a second place to the University of New Hampshire with a score of 97.58, losing by .09. Third-year Carmen Haywood explained how proud she was of the team and the impact they made as an HBCU.
Us literally getting on the bus is history in itself. Us even signing up is history in itself. So to be able to get this far and actually execute and actually be able just to compete.
This year, there was a record high of 12 HBCUs competing, half of them being their first time in their school's history. North Carolina A&T's head coach explained what he always makes sure to instill in his athletes.
The biggest thing is better than yesterday. It's our motto. It just means that in every aspect of life, cheer, personal life, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, whatever it is, to always be better than yesterday. Understanding every day is not going to be perfect, every day is not going to be easy, but we can always try and aim to be better than yesterday.
North Carolina A&T's cheerleading program continues to set the standard for HBCUs, and they're only just getting started. From Greensboro, North Carolina, Alexis Black, Aggie News.
The Aggies men's basketball team introduced their 14th head coach in program history, Monte Ross. Ross is familiar with the Piedmont area. He is a 1992 Winston-Salem State University graduate and played basketball under the legendary Clarence Big Host Gaines. Ross comes in with significant expertise in the CAA after coaching at the University of Delaware for 10 years. During his press conference, Ross expressed excitement about his new position and landing a job at the #1 public HBCU.
I am super excited to be here, ready to roll up my sleeves and get to work. There's a lot of work to be done, but it's going to be fun work. Anytime you have the opportunity to affect the lives of young people, it's something that, again, I don't take lightly, and I enjoy it with every fiber in my heart and every being in my body.
Love was late this weekend. Netflix tried its second ever live event, but they ran into a problem.
So if you were sitting at home waiting to watch the Love is Blind live reunion, well, so were we. Here are a few screenshots all over social media. The special did not load for viewers at home. Users were waiting nearly 2 hours. For some, it started mid-show. For others, nothing. Netflix apologized to everyone who, quote, stayed up late, woke up early, and gave up their Sunday afternoon. The reunion is now available.
That's all we have for this week's edition of Aggie News. I'm Cameron Jackson.
And I'm Maddie Moore. We'll see you next week.